Today on the Diz List, we count down the top 5 things from Animal Kingdom in 2024 at Walt Disney World.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that lists everything in Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Robin. Today we're going to look at the top 5 things that we've experienced at Animal Kingdom this year in 2024.
Yeah. We had talked about doing our end of the year recap.
Yes.
And you sent me over a text of the parks that we're going to be doing. And Animal Kingdom was fresh in your mind, obviously, because you're pretty excited for something happening over there.
Yeah. I'm really excited actually for the Indiana Jones ride that's coming up. If you don't follow Disney news like we do, they're going to be redoing the dinosaur ride and turning it into a brand new story for Indiana Jones. Because in Disneyland, they have the Indiana Jones ride, which I still can't remember the name of.
Okay.
I keep wanting to say Crystal Skull, but that's not it. That's the 4th movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, that ride was great. I mean, if you take our current dinosaur ride and imagine it not being bumpy and crazy,
Right.
smoother,
Yeah.
and have more lights on. I wouldn't say it's like completely bright on the inside. It's still dark. It's like you're in a cave. The one that's in Disneyland is similar to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Remember that movie? Kind of where it's similar to like that mine car area where they have the big. It's kind of like that.
100%.
But I think I'm just really excited about that ride. I love that franchise. I think it fits really well. There's going to be a lot of Harrison Ford going on in Disney World coming up pretty soon. We're going to be doing 4 weeks of this. We're going to start off with Animal Kingdom. Then we do Epcot. Then we're going to do Hollywood Studios and then Magic Kingdom. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct.
So we're going to kind of focus on our favorite things that we experienced during that time.
Yeah. I mean, 2024 is coming to an end. It's wrapping up. We're already to December. We were recording this on the 1st of December. But I got to tell you, I don't know about you, but I'm glad to see November go away.
Oh my God, it was rough. The last week and a half between you and I both.
Yeah.
It's been rough. And I think, last episode, that was our one where we
recorded remotely.
We did it remotely because my son was sick.
Right.
So my son's been sick. He broke his ankle and got pneumonia in the same week. It was really rough.
Yep.
You've had a ton of issues at your house. I had a big issue here.
Yeah.
You can say as much as you want.
Yeah. Well, no, between like cars and appliances and TVs, like the season of spending is upon us. We'll just say that. And it wasn't like, oh yeah, it's coming up to the holiday season. We planned on buying a brand new TV. We planned on buying a brand new refrigerator. We planned on buying a brand new car. No, we did not plan on any of those things, but all 3 of those things certainly happened.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right? I mean, I'm thankful. You know, we're coming up at the end of this Thanksgiving break here. I'm thankful that I'm in a position where I didn't hamstring me to a point where I got to make some really big sacrifices. So we're blessed. But
yeah, definitely.
We did finish off November pretty well though, with a pretty fun night. So
Friday
for the first time.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be the first time you've ever played a show in the town in which you live, right?
Well,
I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
kind of.
In this town.
My previous band, Achilles, played at SUNY over here.
Yeah.
But that was before I lived here.
Okay.
So they, Achilles played.
Yeah, so, like, it was great. It was a wonderful night. I don't want to, like, make this into an advertisement, but I do want to shout out Rob's band because Into the Light, his current band, played a great show. It was cool because you kind of opened up for a old students band.
Yes.
So that was kind of cool. So we had a lot of old students there. We had colleagues there.
Yep.
You guys sounded amazing.
Thanks.
And it was like a night of 90s grunge, like, because that's what they played.
They played grunge covers, correct?
Grunge covers from 90s, and then you guys play original, harder 90s music.
Yes. So if you're a fan of music from the 90s, this is sounding like a commercial now.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it was a great thing.
No, I appreciate it.
And what I think is so cool is that, like, some of your other bands, like if you watch us on YouTube and you see some of his band stuff behind him, or see like some of the albums on the wall, you might be like, oh, I'll look that up, and then go, what the heck? For some people, right? Because it's a hardcore.
Yeah.
It's the hardcore scene.
Yeah, my mother won't come and watch.
She did the other night.
She did. She'll come see this band because they're singing.
Yes, it was great. I really, listeners, you should check them out. I'll make a commercial. You should go check them out.
Cool.
Into
well,
the
I appreciate it.
You can find them wherever you stream this podcast, actually.
Or send us a message if is there more than one Into the Light on Spotify?
I haven't found one.
Maybe. Well, if you find it on Spotify or Apple, click on the artist and look for me.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I look like, check our social medias or go on YouTube and see what I look like.
Yeah.
There should be a picture of you in the back, like with your thumbs up. Nick's our, he's kind of our manager / merch guy / roadie / everything. So
yeah, I use the term. I can't use the term that I used the other night when somebody said
it might be a little bit of a bad word in there.
Yeah, but it certainly, it's fun to be around you guys, and it was fun to finish off what was kind of a rough month. Not like, oh my gosh, I feel so down, but just one of those like,
we needed
it. Like it's like you think bad things happen in threes. How about 23s?
Yeah, I know.
It was like the reverse Michael Jordan. It was the bad 23 things.
Well, and then for your wife and I, who both
celebrate your birthday. That's the other thing.
We had our birthdays, and it was like not the greatest.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Rob made another trip around the sun since we last recorded.
Yep.
So happy birthday.
Yep, and happy birthday to your wife as well. Hers was yesterday.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Yep. So why don't we get started with the things that we enjoyed about Animal Kingdom in 2024?
Well, we're talking about downers, and this one's a little bit of a downer because I had a rough experience with my number 5, and my number 5 used to be much higher on my list, and it's the Lion King show.
Yeah.
Which I love, and it's so good, and it's easily one of my favorite things to do, and potentially my favorite show out of all of them at Walt Disney World, maybe. I know we did one of those episodes recently, but they change so frequently in my mind. Like my rankings, this is obviously how our brain works. This is our podcast here. But the Lion King show went down a couple notches. And the reason why is just one bad experience I had, but it was just something that happened to me. And that's why this list is the way it is. It doesn't mean that the show got worse. It doesn't mean that all these other things got drastically better. It just means that when we went to go see the Lion King show, we all loaded in there and they had to cancel. That could mean someone was sick. That could be something serious. So I'm not saying you stink, Animal Kingdom. I'm just saying kind of a rougher experience, but I love it so much that I can't even take it off the list. Just because we didn't get to see it and they canceled as we walked in, it's going down to number 5 for me. Now, I know you love this show, too.
I do.
It may or may not be on your list.
It actually is not. I'll admit it's not because I went through and I've got things on my list this year just, I don't know, just that for me this year hit differently.
Sure.
And kind of like Lion King hit differently for you this year.
But negative, but still I feel like it's got to be there. Yes, that was bad, but I love it, so keep it at number 5 for me.
I mean, I love the show, and I will always do the show. It's just not. It doesn't happen to be on my list. My number 5 this year is that I feel like the unique characters. I really took in the unique characters more this year.
Good idea.
So like Pocahontas did a meet and greet over there. I know she's not there now, but Moana was meeting over there. She's now over in Epcot, but that makes sense because she's over by the Moana area.
Could she be in both parks? Sure.
Yeah, why not? And there's the opportunity to see Divine over there, and you've got Kevin running around.
I love that.
Yeah, they do have they have characters you won't find anywhere else or can't find anywhere else, and that's what I think is so amazing about Animal Kingdom. You can see the flotillas or whatever you want to call them. They had said they were going away, but I saw them this summer. And they hadn't gone away yet. So I don't know. Maybe they're going away a little bit later.
They do Brother Bear. As soon as you said that, I was trying to think, okay, what are some cool ones that, you can't get anywhere else? Brother Bear, the raccoon from Pocahontas we see all the time.
Yep, you've got the Dino Bash. So that's going to go away. But like Donald, is it
Well, the dinosaur
Chip,
costumes.
It's Chip and Dale in the dinosaur costumes.
Yep.
Those
and Donald
cool.
and Daisy.
Yep.
I think Goofy too, maybe.
Goofy's over there. Yep. It's just it is a fun park for characters, and in a park where they don't have a whole heck of a lot going on for it, that's a good thing to do.
You know what I always wish they had at Animal Kingdom as a walk around characters, and maybe they have, and I've just missed this, but it made me think of it when they were doing the oh my gosh, the balloon characters that were flying around.
Yeah, the kites.
The kites. That's it.
Yeah.
I feel like they need to do more Jungle Book stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, have Baloo walking around, King Louie.
They have those costumes.
Cool characters.
They have those costumes. I know they do because I've seen them meet out by when they do the character training stuff over in Epcot.
I love it.
Yeah, so my number 5 is unique characters.
Yeah.
What do you got number 4?
So for number 4, this is one that you and I both really, really like. I have a hard time putting it higher on the list because the other things I get kind of different satisfaction out of, but number 4 is a family favorite for us, and it's the animation experience.
Oh,
and I think it's I think the real title is incredibly long. Let me read it here off the screen. The animation experience at Conservation Station Rafiki's Planet Watch. That's a lot.
That is a mouthful.
I know. So if you don't know what this is and you're a new listener, we've talked about this quite a bit. So I'm an art teacher. So is my wife, and my kids all love art too. But my point is, to do this animation experience, you don't have to be an artist or an art teacher.
Absolutely
We
not.
love it.
Absolutely not.
Your family loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
If you take the train, and to get on this train over to this area, it's over near kind of where those hiking trails are, like the Maharaj Jungle Trek and Kilimanjaro Safaris. If you walk over in that area, and it's not something I can really explain over the podcast because it's definitely complicated to navigate that area. It's a little confusing. But if you follow the signs I think the sign says Conservation Station. I don't know if it says Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Yeah.
But you get on the train, and part of that is that nice little relaxing train ride. Very similar to what they have in Magic Kingdom, but a little bit different. You get to actually see kind of backstage a little bit, behind the scenes. You'll go by and see, this area better. I don't know if it's the rhinos or which animals are housed in that area, because you were backstage in that general area. Do you know what animals are in that area you drive by?
I think the ones that you drive by on that are elephants, but I'm not 100%.
I think you might be right too.
But it's definitely it's not because it's not the rhinos that I know.
Yeah,
but I think it's the elephants.
So you take the train around, and it takes you back to this area where there's a petting zoo, and there's other experiences inside that I'm not going to be long-winded about. But when you walk in, you meet up with a cast member, and they escort you back, and you sit down, and you work with an actual Disney animator, which is very cool. And depends on who it is, what time of the day, what character they are doing. We've done Bambi. Did you do Bambi also?
I did Bambi.
We did Bambi. We've done Crush. We've done, oh gosh, I can't even remember who. We've done so many of them. Again, I don't really need to do the list, but what they do is similar to how an art teacher would work. There's a camera on the actual drawing by the teacher. And I do the same thing when I teach. I have a camera and then a giant screen behind me, and that's how they do it. So you get a sheet of paper that has sort of markings and areas showing, okay, draw your line over top of this circle. Then the reason I'm explaining that part so thoroughly is to let people know it's kind of like training wheels a little bit.
Yeah.
So even though you're working with a professional animator, it's a whole lot easier with this specific template that they give you. We just love it. You get to walk away with a drawing that you did, and it's just a cool, different experience where you can say, hey, I worked with a Disney animator, and they taught me how to draw, this particular character.
Yeah, it is a cool experience, and it's so popular that they've actually brought it to Cruise Line. I believe it's.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
So, I mean, it is definitely a popular item. And it's something that I think is a really cool thing.
It's just different, as cool as Disney World is. And you look at how rides can be so drastically different too, how we can love like a dark ride where we're literally just sitting in a boat and put that on a list directly next to a thrill ride on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Next to doing a drawing experience with an animator or eating a great meal. It's, if you really think about it, I know this is big picture stuff here, of how all these awesome experiences, it's not like going to your local like Six Flags. I'll use that as an example.
That's a good,
because there's kind of nothing in between, and it's just roller coaster, roller coaster, roller coaster, go home. Maybe get a funnel cake or an ice cream, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
And that's what's so cool about Disney is they kind of make the whole thing gold.
Yeah.
Everything is dipped in gold. You know what I mean?
I do. And,
So-
and this experience is a great example.
And
of
I know that was
experience.
long, but like it's really important to us, and I really want to.
Oh, it's a great. It
I want
really
to
is.
underline it here.
Yeah.
I want to highlight this thing is cool. And again, it's hard for me to rank this over some of these other incredible attractions, but it's definitely an important one for me on my list. So that's my number 4. What do you have for your 4?
So my number 4 for things that I did this year in Animal Kingdom was saying goodbye to Dinosaur. Now I know
Oh yeah.
I know I trash this ride. I know I make fun of this ride, but this ride has a lot of nostalgia.
It does.
It is a classic ride at Animal Kingdom, and
It's a hoot.
yeah, and it's got the mustard, mayo, ketchup. It has a lot of stuff that I will look back on and say, I'm glad I did it one last time. I don't like the ride.
Yeah.
This is not me ranking Dinosaur as 4th best thing to do in Animal Kingdom, but for me in 2024, it was my 4th best thing because I said goodbye to it. Maybe I said good riddance, but
Good way to look at it though, actually.
But like at least just one last time, one last go round.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily love the ride either, and it's really it's herky jerky and clunky, and
that's an understatement.
So what we've kind of done as a family when we go is we kind of make it into a joke. Like we lean into it really hard, and on the in the ride we'll like scream when something's not really scary, or we'll like talk along with the narrator when it's not my dino, and
Yeah.
we'll do a funny face at the end when they do the ride photo. So we make it a good time.
Yeah. It is kind of one of those ones. It's so bad it's good.
Yes.
If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's my number 4 was doing Dinosaur one last time.
Yeah.
Getting that out of the way one last time.
So that's a good first 4. I know we can head off to halftime here. How do we still have the coupon code for Magic Merch?
So as it turns out, Magic Merch .art, they don't, that particular storefront I thought was going to do a coupon code.
Yeah.
It just turns out that, hey, everything's got your discount. So you don't even
Cool.
you don't even have to type in holiday 24. It's already there for you. It'll say it's on sale.
Great.
So we're running a sale all the way through the end of the year, actually.
Nice.
So all the way through until the end of December. So December 31st at midnight, it'll go off.
There's something for everybody.
There is.
I was just looking at that Thunder Mountain shirt.
Yeah.
I need to order that.
Yeah, right.
Or you can get
A Dizzless.
a Dizzless shirt.
Yeah.
We've had a couple orders. You're laughing,
No,
but we've had a couple
no.
people order Dizzless shirts.
Absolutely. I've seen some pictures of people wearing them in the parks. So
Anytime we get anybody who gets a Dizzless shirt and wears it in the park, we post it.
oh yeah.
And if you go back and look, there's been a couple people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, one of them was my daughter when she went with her friend.
Yeah, that doesn't
but-
really count, but
Well, her friend was wearing a shirt. And
that's true. That's true.
She counts.
Yeah, absolutely. So magicmerch.art, you don't even have to type anything in. We do have 10% off until the end of, so it's not even a Black Friday. It is all of December.
Cool.
But the halftime is brought to you by our patrons. Our patrons are amazing human beings. Thank you so much for supporting us. Without you, we really couldn't do this every week. What we do with Patreon is they get early access to new episodes, and then every week we basically record an entire second episode. It's a little bit shorter, but we do record another episode and release that. We do some fun stuff over there.
A lot of laughs on the Patreon show.
Yeah. Do some fun stuff over there, a little bit looser. You can go check that out at patreon.com/DizzlessPod. But thank you to our patrons. Thank you to you, our listeners. We'll see you right after the break. Welcome back. This half of the show, we're going to go through our top three.
Yep.
Top three things for each of us at Animal Kingdom in 2024. I just looked at my list and realized I had written 2025. I'm anxious for this year to be done.
Yeah, I was nervous at the start of the show that I said, because I'm almost ready. Most of the time, it's the opposite. I'll say the wrong year for a while. I'm actually, two things like this happen. I said my new age for a couple months before I turned that age. Yeah. You ever done that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then I was saying the new year before the new year happened, and it's been.
Yeah,
I honestly, I think it's subliminal for us. We want to get through this year because we've had a couple rough weeks here.
Yeah, and it's just funny when I look at it. It's like 2025. Wow, we're flying.
I know.
And I thought it was funny, and I don't want to dwell on this, but because we are older, I do want to bring this up. A hilarious interaction happened the other night at that show.
Yeah.
And I forgot to bring. I don't even know if you heard this interaction.
I don't hear anything.
The band after that played after you was doing their sound check, and their microphone was shocking him. And so
I heard him say that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so your friend Adam goes up and says, "Yeah, your amp's not grounded, and you're touching your guitar strings. Take your hands off your guitar." And he's like, "How did you know that?" And he looks at me and goes, I'm old. And I was like, you should have just said, my birth year starts with 19. Like,
kid.
I was born in the 1900s, kid.
I say anyway. Kid, and they were very good. And this kid, who's literally a kid, sang really well.
Yeah.
When we were doing our sound check, he says to me, he goes, "Man, how'd you get all this cool equipment? Like, I would love to have an amp like that." I go, "Buddy, I'm old." I said, "When I was your age, I was playing the same equipment you were." Yeah. I said, "I've been saving up for a long time."
Yeah, that's funny.
I appreciate the shout out at the start of the show. Check us out. If you can't find us, send us a message, and I'll be happy to chat with you about it.
So 2025, it's like, wow, we are old. Anyway, so number 3 for you. What do you got?
Number 3 is a food item.
Okay.
And this place keeps getting better and better and better for me. And that's Satuli Canteen.
Oh, it's good stuff.
It is, man, I know we did a quick service ranking. I don't know if we did it one specific park or all of them, but man, this one's near the top. Because this has nothing to do with being gluten-free or not. This is just good food is good food here. Because I haven't been gluten-free forever, so I know what like other, gluten food tastes like. This is at the top. Like, this is really good for, as far as quick service goes. Yeah. Sit down, which we've done a lot of, especially with you when we did the trip with your family. We did a lot of that. But this is one of the best places. If you're not familiar with Satuli Canteen, you're like, where is that? Okay, I was trying to be specific about where these places are. It's over in Avatar Land. Pandora, yep. And it's similar to like a Chipotle, where you don't kind of walk across, and they don't like scoop your food in like a Subway style, but the food is similar.
To build your own.
Correct. Where there's a rice base, if that's what you want, a protein, some vegetables. But the only weird part for some younger kids, but I really like this, they've done this over in Star Wars too, is it's very bizarre how it kind of looks and what it's called, but it's so good. It's if you're gonna go there, just tell your kids it's just like Chipotle and pick whatever style meat or.
Honestly, there are a lot of places that do these grain bowls and power bowls now.
I love them.
There's a local restaurant that I always go to that they have them on their menu all the time. They like have you pick your protein, pick whether you want. I think it's quinoa or rice or noodles, and then you kind of go from there. And it's very similar to that Satuli Canteen without the food dye that maybe makes it look a little bit crazy. But
that made me think too, there is sort of an Asian influence also.
Oh, 100%.
So you could do a noodle base. I didn't think of that. That's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah. I thought they did they don't have any noodle base over at Satuli? Like a soba noodle?
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they do. Yeah. The local place over here, I didn't know they did that.
Oh, yeah.
You talking about Burrito?
No.
Oh, no, then we're talking about two different places.
Yeah, no, I don't go there.
Okay.
I don't go to that place. This is definitely not a commercial for them. Okay. So yeah.
Lots of laughs. I feel like Len Testa.
Yeah, right. I wish, because he lives in Celebration.
Yes.
My number 3, you go with what you had first?
Yeah.
Okay. My number 3 was this year I really kind of slowed. Now, I've been doing more of this at Animal Kingdom, slowed down and paid attention to the entertainment. And it doesn't hurt that it's right near Dawa Bar, which is one of my favorites.
Right.
But like even just like chilling out over in that area, the entertainment in that park really feels so authentic.
It does.
And so I think, it's not like going to Epcot and seeing, the guy who's balancing the chairs or,
in France. Yeah.
This is, and it's not Mazzarizza, which is, I guess, authentic, but it's like a 5-minute little like performance on the drums in Epcot. It just feels way more authentic. Like you could be in a touristy part of Africa and have this happen. I mean, it could happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it just feels way more authentic. And it's a fun thing to take in. And it's not just there because you can just walk around and all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's this show with the birds. I'm not talking about the feathered friends in flight. I'm talking about the other one, like the parrot one that's just
where they fly through the park. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a crazy amount of entertainment in that park.
The band across from Flame Tree Barbecue is always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like it's just, I really think that it's a fun park for entertainment. I think it's more fun than any of the other parks for in-park entertainment.
A lot of people will say that it's a half-day park, and some people can experience it that way. But my advice, and I know you agree because this is obviously what we're talking about here, is to take those times in between where if you have a reservation for a ride or whatever you want to call it, fast pass or whatever, lightning lane for a certain time, and you got a half an hour to kill, go see something you haven't seen. Go see a show. Go walk and see if people are blocking the tigers. You actually see them or not. Okay.
They weren't out the last time I was there, so I didn't have to worry about that. It was the gorillas last time.
But I really think that park you can really, really enjoy. And it closes earlier too, which is fine. But I understand why. But
I don't.
I think you're absolutely right.
Makes one of us because I don't understand why it closes early.
Well, I figure because it has to do with animal maintenance, and that was my guess. But maybe I'm wrong. If somebody knows why they close earlier, let me know. In my mind, that was my assumption.
So then you don't have the safari. Okay. So
but then you can do other things.
Why not? Yeah.
So the safari closes at 6 or 7, and everything else you can.
I don't know why they couldn't do that.
Think about how cool Expedition Everest would be at night.
Yeah. Exactly. Or being able to walk through Pandora and see all of the lights that you're supposed to be able to see in the bioluminescence.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Is.
I was lucky enough to do that, but that's because when we were there, it was during one of the months one of the parts of the year where it's darker earlier. Yeah. So we got to see Pandora light up.
Yeah. So that's my number 3, entertainment in Animal Kingdom. I think it's the best park for in-park impromptu type entertainment. That's just my opinion. But yeah, that's my number 3. What's your number 2?
My number 2 and number 1 have switched through the years.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say what the number 1 is yet. I'm not going to ruin it. But my number 2 is many, not everyone. I almost said everyone. Many people's number 1. So my number 2 is Flight of Passage. And the reason why it is number 2 is it's kind of gone down a little bit for me. The glasses that you wear have been scratched up. The 3D hasn't been as crisp. So I wear glasses all the time, except for when I'm sleeping. So I wear glasses all the time, and I have to put glasses over my glasses.
Are your dreams blurry?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
A little bit. I got the glasses next to the bed if I have to put them on.
Okay. All right.
But I just feel like the quality of the 3D, maybe it's the glasses, maybe it's where I'm sitting.
No, I think it's the glasses.
But I think the last couple of years, it's just been a little bit clunky.
There's another YouTube creator who has said that for some reason, when Disney bought those glasses, they were a very specific type of glasses that are not manufactured anymore or something like that. And they bought a certain number of them, and they are now out of the one, like they used to replace them, and now they don't have things to replace them, and it's really not cheap to get them. So to manufacture them or whatever, it wouldn't be cheap. And so Disney might be doing things on the cheap, and those glasses are scratched, and so it doesn't work as well. Now, whether or not that person knows what they're talking about, I don't know on that particular fact, but I will say this person, that particular creator, calls a lot of the stuff, like he mentioned, hey, go ride these rides because they're going away for Cars Land. Go do this because they're going away for Villains, or because they're going to shut it down for a while for Villains. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay. And then all of a sudden, Big Thunder's announced for a year.
Yeah.
And like, he knows a lot of stuff. So I believe whoever his source is right, that these glasses are the reason that it's gone downhill. I don't disagree with you. It's changed.
It was my number one for a long time.
It's changed, 100%.
And it's been different for me. Now I'm curious how this ranks for you. Is this even on your list?
No, look. I told you I took it when I came in today to start recording. I said I took a different approach with this list, and that my approach was what hit for me this year.
Sure.
Right.
And if it's not on your list at all, I get it. And it's not you saying it's bad.
It's not. It's not my list. It's not because it was bad. It's because it doesn't do the same for me as it used to.
And you had a different experience this trip.
Yeah, and my thing with this particular attraction is, I think the first few times you ride it it's just overwhelmingly amazing.
Yes.
And then you can, once you get over the fact that like how it feels, you start paying attention closer to other things.
Yeah.
You realize how foggy, I guess, is the way to describe or there's like a ghosting going on with the 3D. It's gotten to a point where it needs to be addressed, and those glasses I think are the problem. And it's not because I don't like the ride, right? I didn't rank my top 5 things as in like what's the top 5 things that everybody else has to do. But for me, I don't even know if it wouldn't be my number 1 in this park.
Well, my 1 and 2, and the reason this is the way it is and where it's ranked is what I'm trying to do is make more of a statement that these two have switched places. And there's a reason why the two of them have switched places. And I'm not giving them away my number 1, but I don't think anything necessarily happened with number 1 to make it that much better. I think the other one just lost a slot.
That makes sense.
It was the same thing with Lion King show where it just but see, that one didn't change at all. I think that Flight of Passage is going downhill. I don't think Lion King's gone downhill. That lost a point because of my own experience and it being canceled. No offense to the experience at all.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Why my 1 and 2 are going to be the way they are. But I don't want to take away from yours. Go back and continue with your number 2 here.
So my number 2 is, because I kind of approach this as, what are the things in Animal Kingdom that I do that I'm like, this is like an experience that's better than, they do this better than anybody, right? And I think their shopping at Animal Kingdom is the best in-park shopping in Disney World. And let me explain to you why. I know what you're thinking. I want you to
No,
pause.
I don't think you know. I think I'm with you. And I'm trying to think of the other ones, but I like what you're saying.
So here's what I'm going to say is like I can get away with not shopping in Hollywood Studios because it's like going into
tiny.
This is gonna be a throwback. It's like going into a KB stores, KB
Toys, yeah.
Like, because everything's a toy in Hollywood Studios. I feel like that one section there is all toys, and then maybe there's a shirt here and there. It's like, okay, I can get that on Amazon. Like I know I can get some of the stuff at like an Animal Kingdom too there. Magic Kingdom, Epcot, both of those in-store shops you might as well go to Disney Springs. You can get it at Disney Springs for the most part. There's not a lot of unique. It's not like it used to be. Like we were going to Memento Mori, and you're going to see stuff that you only see in Memento Mori.
Yeah.
A little bit sometimes, but not much. Animal Kingdom, you're not getting stuff. You're not getting that same stuff. It's a lot of it's African themed. Some of it is actual like animal, like conservation type stuff. We got my daughter a bracelet this year that had a QR code that you scan the QR code and you follow a giraffe. Like,
cool.
And then if the like sensor or whatever the thing that they have, the GPS falls out, because they do, right? It immediately jumps to a different animal and like you're tracking it. And my daughter loves checking in. Oh, where did Fazio go today?
Cool.
And like you can see like where your animal is. And it's little things like that that's unique that you don't get at other parks, I feel.
My 2 cents on that is, as soon as you said it, I thought about those shops. And, I mean, essentially there's 2 of them that are kind of mirror image that are on either side of your main entrance area there.
The 2 big ones, the main ones.
Well, the reason I like them so much, and this is where I thought you were going with this, is we're bigger guys. and we take up a lot of room, especially with a backpack on. Like we're
they're not like it's not like the Emporium. But you have room there.
But I think Hollywood Studios is even worse. When you were going to that, all those shops are just really tiny. There's a lot of them, but they're smaller. So that's kind of why I like this a little bit better. The vibe is cool. It's a really dark wood. The ceilings are high. It makes me just feel comfortable when I'm in there.
They have more unique things. Like
they do.
The shopping in Animal Kingdom, you're going to find unique things like, more unique home goods, unique souvenirs. Like their mugs you're going to find a totally different set of mugs there. But if you go to the Emporium, you're going to find the same ones over in, is it the Creation Shop or not Creations? Yeah.
Yeah, the one in Epcot.
Whatever it's called.
Creation Shop. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So the one over in Epcot, you're going to find the same stuff at World of Disney. Mm-hmm. And you might find similar things over at Hollywood Studios, but most of that stuff is toys, I feel like, in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
I don't really shop there.
Yeah.
But when you talk about unique shopping in-park experiences, I feel Animal Kingdom has it hands down. I love shopping in Animal Kingdom. I could spend hours shopping in Animal Kingdom. Mm-hmm. So that's just me. And their apparel is unique there. So like the other parks don't have as unique an apparel, except for like maybe you get Star Wars and Marvel stuff in Hollywood Studios. But other than that, not really much.
But they have a little bit of it everywhere.
Yeah,
they do that on purpose.
So my number 2 is shopping.
So my number 1, I kind of led up to quite a bit, and I'm not going to dwell too much on it, because I did a lot of the build-up previously here. Is my number 1, I'll get right to it, is Expedition Everest. And for a long time, it has been the opposite. And Flight of Passage was my top. And I think since it's kind of declined a little bit, I think for me that's a big deal. And that's a big experience, that Expedition Everest, also with its flaw, with having Yeti on the inside not working properly.
Yeah, but that hasn't declined.
It's been like that forever. I don't think I've ever been there. I think it's only been working for a short period of time, and I wasn't there for that.
Like 6 weeks, I think.
But the ride itself is so fun. I like thrill rides. I like roller coasters, but I'm not the guy that's going to the level of going to the one that has the steepest drop and the fastest and the craziest crazy twists or whatever, Yeah. Like I like a good roller coaster, but it doesn't need to like rip my insides apart. You know what I mean?
I do.
I like exactly what Everest is. It's a good thrill. You go backwards, you turn around. Yeah. I'm okay with going upside down, but it's just such a great thrill. The queue is amazing. I love how it's themed. Even seeing the Yeti a little bit, we've talked quite a bit of what we would do to fix that Yeti, and I'd love to go on and on about all my ideas about what I would do to fix that particular situation. But that ride is so fun and so exciting, and I know I share this feeling with Rob from Ear Scouts. This is his favorite ride too. I know you love it too.
This is if this was a ride show, this is my number 1 ride.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So for me, that's why I put these two at 1 and 2, is to send a message, and that message is, hey, things have flip-flopped. And I don't know if a lot of people that go to the park really have figured that out yet. Because if you look at ride times for both,
that's the other thing that's great about this ride.
Uh-huh.
You can. There are multiple times during the day you might be able to walk on this, even in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you play your cards right, like let's say you get a Flight of Passage. Let's say you're going with somebody who needs to do Flight of Passage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get your Lightning Lane single pass. You can go to Animal Kingdom, and probably if you start like right now, like you've got dinosaurs still open. If you start by going that way, you can probably do Everest, Dinosaur, Triceratops Spin, if that counts.
Now,
you can knock those 3 out and be done, and then you can go and wait in line for Navi before Navi River Journey before you get on Flight of Passage.
Yeah,
like you might be able to do all the rides in this park by noon, and that's bonkers when you consider there's only like 6 of them. Because you would think, and we complain about capacity all the time.
Yeah.
You would think that, low capacity or not a lot of rides, so we have, that means low capacity, which means that they're going to be long lines. Not if you're talking about Everest.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's one ride that consistently has huge long lines, and that's Flight of Passage.
So I'd love to ride that 3 or 4 times if I'm at the park. Why not? My family enjoys it. And then back to your point about getting everything done by like noon, take some time to relax and go watch that band. Go watch the entertainment outside the Dawa bar. Go take a walk and look at the gorilla on the Gorilla Falls or Maharaj Jungle Trek. Like
go
those
walk around the trails at the Tree of Life.
Oh, it's so great.
I don't know.
It's good to slow down sometimes. I guess it's harder when it's mega hot. Walking around but a lot of those trails, there's a lot of cover.
I don't find the trails that hot. A lot of people say, "Oh, Animal Kingdom is the hottest park." They're wrong.
No,
it's Hollywood Studios.
Oh yeah,
but a lot of people do say that Animal Kingdom is hotter. I think it feels
humid.
Right, it's humid because of all the fauna.
Yeah,
or flora. Yeah, flora.
Maybe Merriweather.
Jeez,
I had to.
Oh my gosh! All right, yeah.
Somebody is listening and laughing right now. One person at least.
Yeah, you. All right.
No, Mikey is.
Mikey. Okay. So yeah, no, I think Expedition Everest is great. And as I said, if this was a ride show, if I'm ranking the top 5 rides that I did in Animal Kingdom this year, I would put that there.
Yep.
But I said that my approach was more about what does Animal Kingdom do better, or what do I like when I go to Animal Kingdom? What are my 5 things that I really needed to do this year? And I got to tell you, and I know you agree with this because it was on your list, kind of. The food, my number 1 is food at Animal Kingdom is some of the best.
Yeah,
specifically, if I'm going to talk about what my top thing I did this year at Animal Kingdom, I would say that the top takeaway I had was I found a new restaurant I've got to go back to. Yak and Yeti was phenomenal. We had some issues with not with the service, but with the manager.
Yeah,
that was the one.
You told me it was one particular employee.
They brought out our stuff in the wrong order, and so then once they did that, the manager came over and was like, "Oh, sometimes that happens," and I was like, "Dude, no, I don't need you to comp my meal, but not like sometimes that happens," and walk away. Like, not an apology, not anything. The cast member who was waiting on us was absolutely appalled and was very, very apologetic. But the food was great there. Food at Animal Kingdom is the thing I look forward to the most. I've told you, second best buffet that I've been to is probably Tusker House. Mm-hmm. Number one being the one over at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Like, it's an amazing buffet. It's in a park. You're eating really good food in a park. So you've got Tusker House, you've got Yak and Yeti. Flame Tree is good barbecue.
It is.
It's had not bad
time.
barbecue,
no,
and I must,
you're a barbecue, snob. No offense.
I'm a barbecue snob.
You're good at it, so
I will admit that I'm a barbecue snob. I have no problem admitting that. It's good barbecue. It's not bad barbecue. I've had better. It's good in park barbecue. Maybe I should say that. Mm-hmm. Animal Kingdom food is my number 1 for a reason, and I think that Satuli Canteen is part of that. Mm-hmm. I think that all of the everything I've eaten, even the Yak and Yeti quick service, because there's like a Yak and I forget what the full name of the quick service is, but the Yak and Yeti quick service is also like good food. You have like the Mr. Kamal's, I think it's like they've got like these specialty. I think that's the place where they do the specialty pizza. I can't remember, but they've got a whole bunch of different like flatbreads you can get at different places. You've got the grilled corn you can get. The food at that park, I feel that food game is actually good. And if you take away Epcot's festivals, if you take away festival booths, they have better food than Epcot. Now with festival booths, Epcot wins.
Let me ask you about a couple that you haven't mentioned yet. Pizza Fari, have you had it?
No, I don't plan to. Yeah, that's one that
next to it, Starbucks, but I'm not counting that one.
Right.
Tiffin's and...
Oh, Tiffin's. Yeah, I forgot.
You and I ate there together.
Tiffin's, and you've got Nomad Lounge, which has the best churros on property.
And they're gluten-free. And last but not least, the food here is okay. And I know you haven't eaten here before.
Oh my gosh.
But this is Restaurantosaurus.
Oh, I thought you were going to say...
No, what do you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to...
Did I forget one?
Yeah, Rainforest Cafe. I thought you were going to say Rainforest Cafe.
Oh, no, but I've eaten there too.
Yeah.
When the kids were little, they love it because we'll go to Niagara Falls and we've eaten at Rainforest Cafe there, and they like the vibe. And
I've only ever
ate there one time.
I've only ever eaten at the one in Syracuse way, way back.
Yeah,
there used to be one in the.
But Restaurantosaurus is it's average. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it tops. Cosmic Rays has gone way up. I think one of the best burgers, if not the best burger that you can get now is going to be Connections Cafe and Epcot.
Yeah.
The Santa Fe burger there was unreal good.
All the burgers are good there on that menu. That's a really good.
It seems like Restaurantosaurus is going to be rethemed. I'm not sure specifically if it's going to be rethemed to something Indiana Jones. Could be, or maybe something completely different.
I'm hoping it's more like Tropical America's, whatever. It's going to be a Tropical America's kind of vibe food.
Or in that type of cuisine and spices, I would absolutely love, because you and I are the same way. We're not always just American food all the time.
No,
I love Indian food, Chinese food.
Yeah,
I'm not just
my
all
guess,
meat and potatoes.
My
burgers.
guess is that we'll do some South American food, some Brazilian stuff, probably some. My guess is probably some food from like Chile and Peru and stuff like that.
Be great.
It's gonna be.
Maybe that's where they'll end up.
Colombia, of course.
Well, they'll probably serve tacos and stuff there too. I mean, they could do
some Mexican stuff, yeah.
But and I would only say that because it's something a little easier for kids. Because you and I would want to go in there and have something Peruvian or something different that you can't get anywhere else.
Some kids are picky, yes, and they would.
And then there's some kids like yours who like to try and experiment with different cuisine, which is cool. But your kids are very unique.
I don't think they're as unique. I think that some kids.
It's a good. I'm giving you a compliment.
No, I understand that.
It's cool that your kids like unique food.
Right? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, mine's food at Animal Kingdom.
That's a good one.
Now, like I said, I did mine a little bit differently. I thought, I want to talk about the things that I did this year that I'm looking back and saying super memorable. Mm-hmm. Now, one of my greatest memories this summer was certainly riding Everest with my family members, that I don't usually get to go to the parks with. But, as far as what mine were, number one, new food and trying all the foods at Animal Kingdom.
Cool.
Do we have any honorable mention stuff? I don't really have honorable mentions, but do you?
Yeah, I mean, honorable mention is always that entire, well, I don't want to say the entire area because I specifically talked about Planet Watch, but that whole section with the animals, Maharaj Jungle Trek, Gorilla Falls, the Kilimanjaro safaris, that whole section is so cool.
Yeah.
I just like being back there, everything about it. I know I'm kind of clumping it all together, but
and I
just love that area.
I didn't do an add-on tour at Animal Kingdom this year. I did one over at Animal Kingdom Lodge. But I will tell you, if you can swing it, one of those backstage, like, I forget what they're called, animal experiences or whatever. Like, if you go toward, when you're going to Kilimanjaro Safaris, there's like a little, next to it, there's a station. Left? As I'm facing it, it's to the left. As you're looking at Kilimanjaro Safaris, there's like a little stand. And then there's like these doors, these big double doors. They look almost like a smaller version of the doors you get on Jurassic Park.
Oh, gotcha.
And you go back behind those, and that's where you do your behind the scenes stuff and whatever. And I can't recommend that enough. Like the rhinos stuff was great. I haven't done the elephant one. I want to do it. We didn't do it this year because we did the nighttime safari. But that's something that if we had done it this year, it would be probably number one on my list because it's amazing to do those things.
So listeners, we love hearing what your top 5 is. So send us what your top 5 is for this year for Animal Kingdom. Mm-hmm. You can reply to the post about the episode. You can put your top 5 there. Some people do it that way. Some people do it as a direct message, and that's fine. We have our regular Instagram for the podcast, but Nick and I have our own personal one, so we don't say this a lot, but you're welcome to message both of us. I have a couple people who, like Stacy, for example, will send me little messages, but feel free to send us messages too if you have anything you want to talk about or send us your lists. So, Well, what do you want to close with here, Nick?
I want to close with the fact that I am excited that Animal Kingdom is getting some love in 2025 and 2026.
Finally.
And that I'm very much looking forward to that. So although this list looks like this year, I definitely suspect that it's changing. And it's going to change big time once all this new stuff gets done. And I have a feeling that my number one might be one Indiana Jones, because I'm really stoked about that ride.
Yeah, mine probably will be too.
So,
and Kanto could be up there too.
Yeah,
and I've seen that movie once, and it's funny. I've seen a lot of these Disney movies once. but I want to go back and revisit it because I didn't love it the first time. I'll be honest, I didn't love it, but with everyone else loving it, I'm going to give it another chance.
You do that.
You know,
I think the ride could be good even if you don't like the movie.
My daughter made fun of me the other day and said, "Dad, you still haven't seen all of Frozen."
That's funny.
Do you know why?
Yeah, because you fell asleep.
I did.
All right. So, guys, it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Tomorrow's just a list away.
Oh, my gosh. Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.